guys, welcome back to the channel. So on our adventure for this weekend, we are currently on the ferry headed from Cherry Branch, which takes us over to Minnesota Beach. So it's about a 20-30 minute crossing over here to the other side. Our destination that we're going to reach today is a local campground. We're going to try to hit up as many mom and pops places as we can this year, support local, you know, just give everybody that chance to get back up on their feet, especially through the winter. And it's called Dixon's Landing. So stay tuned. It's going to be a great video. Welcome to our campsite, everybody. We've gotten settled in for the afternoon, but just look at this. Isn't it beautiful? It's like our own little private beach. We have our own waterfront site. It's a beautiful area. We got settled in quite nicely. We've got a good breeze. So just enjoy. We're definitely going to. All right, so it's going to be a taco night tonight. Kind of one of our go-tos when we're off on a camping adventure. But look at this view. It's just wonderful. This is site number 29 at Dixon Landing for anyone who's interested in our local area. I hope everyone's enjoying. On to cooking. We're hungry, so we can't wait to start eating. So, time for the cheese. Dixon Landing is located in Grantsboro, North Carolina, which is we're about 20 minutes outside of New Bern, North Carolina. And there's lots of interesting things that you can be able to catch around New Bern throughout the year. They have trolley tours, they have farmers markets. Tryon Palace is even nearby, so there's always plenty of things to go and check out if you're really looking for something to do outside of your campsite. So we really just have enjoyed, we're just going to hang around our campsite tonight, and we're actually getting ready to sit down and kind of walk you through where we got started in our camping experience, and I hope everybody enjoys listening on. Hey guys, welcome to our campsite with us tonight. We are here at a beautiful water view tonight with a beautiful sunset. We're going to post some pictures along with the video of where we're at tonight. However, we've just kind of gotten some questions over the past few years on, why did you end up choosing the Winnebago Hike 100? But first of all, we would kind of want to give you a backstory about where we began in our camping adventures and different paths that we took, and then how it led up to the Hike 100.
Now, and our boys are on their own in the military, so what are we going to do? And we decided to buy us a CVT. So at the time, we mounted it on the back of the Ram. Before we put the camper shell on it, I had a roof rack back, or a rack back there, and had the tent on it. And that's where we started our adventures after we became empty nesters.
Right. So yeah, the CVT tent that we chose to get, of course, was orange. At the time that we did, he was a big Harley fan, so a lot of our belongings were Harley Davidson. So orange and black, those were the favorite colors that we would have. So we decided to go with an orange CVT tent. And it was great. We really enjoyed it. We took it many places. We went camping. We live out here on the Outer Banks of North Carolina, so we were able to go over to Cape Lookout several times with it. And it was really convenient to have it on the back of the truck and everything. However, the more that we camped in it, the more we kind of figured out, wait a minute. So when we make base camp, when we would set the tent up and we would make base camp, that was it. We were stationary. We really couldn't go anywhere.
If you wanted to go see the lighthouse at night, you couldn't do it because you already had the tent set up.
Yep. So we got thinking about it, and we were like, okay, so next we gave it thought to take the rooftop tent off of the truck, put it on a trailer so we could just haul it, bring the trailer over, or wherever that we were at, leave the trailer and set up the rooftop tent. So that was kind of in the back of our mind about doing it. However, the more I thought about it, I like to sleep when it's quiet, and the older I get, the more I cherish my silence. So, sleeping in the woods with a rooftop tent, you start hearing all the animals and everything that come out at night, and it just wasn't working for me. I needed something that I could go in. Sometimes I just want to close the door and just hear the silence and be quiet. One of the campgrounds, it wasn't actually a campground, it was a state park. It was Cliffs of the Noose State Park, and we were camping, of course, over on the tent side. And we had several people that they were just
out. It seemed like they chopped firewood all night long.
They chopped firewood all night long. So we didn't sleep well that night. So
and then the bird that kept you up most of the night.
And so then, we had a very friendly bird that liked to talk a lot throughout the night.
Sounded like it was on top of the tent all night.
And it was. And it was way in the woods, but it sounded like it was there. So started thinking even more about, we still wanted to go off-road. We still wanted to stay off-road, wanted to be able to, a camper that could go anywhere that we could pull it. And at the time, that's when we jumped on board. We found a No Boundaries.
Forest River.
Yep, Forest River, No Boundaries, Nobo.
10.5.
10.5, and it was perfect. The gentleman that we purchased it from was out in Matthews, North Carolina, so it was a good drive for us. It was probably...
we drove about 6.5 hours to get it.
Yep, so got out there. He had it all set up in his shop. We could go in there. He had everything running, the air conditioning, the heat, let us check out everything. He was like, I think he had used it a handful of times.
Yeah, I think he'd camped in like 4 times.
So, and he said that they
practically brand new.
Yeah, and I think he had just decided to go a different route. I think he went with a bed camper, I think is.
Yep, he went with one of the drop-in truck bed campers.
So, that little Nobo followed us home that day. We brought it home with us, and
at the time we still had the rooftop tent. So we were still had options, but At one point, we even took the rooftop tent and put on top of the Nobo, because they come with it sometimes, different brand, but then we decided that really we weren't going to use the tent much anymore, that we would just sell the tent and keep the Nobo and use it as our base camp.
Right. And it was, we had our Nobo, we kept that for 3 years.
Yeah,
that we had
about
it
3 years.
3 years. We joined the No Boundaries Nobo page. If you all have anyone watching this that has one, there's always a Facebook page out there for you. So the Nobo was fabulous. It towed behind our, we didn't even know it was behind our Ram, towing at places. We had, had the 360, I guess it was a 360 Batwing, wasn't it? Or
no, 270.
Okay.
270 Batwing.
Batwing around it. We bought the panels so we could enclose that, because with the No Boundaries or with the Nobo, it's basically it's a sleeping headquarters. You basically, you just get in it, you sleep. There's a mattress in there. You got your TV and all that kind of stuff too, but there's no bathroom, no shower.
So it's basically a teardrop, but not teardrop shaped.
Yes. And
so you cook on the outside. So basically just inside is your sleeping area.
Right. Cook on the inside or cook outside. You take a shower outside, use the restroom outside. And we had it all decked out. We had all the options. We had everything that we needed. We put the on-demand
hot water. We had made, set one of those up inside a Pelican case. So you open the Pelican case and hook it to your propane. Had the 23-0 shower surround. So, like she said, it was pretty neat setup.
It was a really good setup.
And we'll post some pictures of that as well.
Yep. After having that for a couple of years, we started thinking, we're like, okay, what is our next step?
We still like being able to go drive on the beach, tow whatever we have on the beach. So we still need to consider size and weight.
Right. And as the years went on with our camping, I have become more of a glamper is what I'm gonna say. I was ready for an indoor shower, an indoor toilet by all means.
And maybe some stand-up room.
And some stand-up room.
They come with that.
Yes, because sometimes in the evenings it's great to sit outside and enjoy. We've just enjoyed this beautiful sunset behind us. I'm gonna post some video. But sometimes, of course, during the winter time, it gets dark early. So 5, 6 o'clock, it's pitch black outside. You don't want to just get in and go ahead and lay down. We wanted a place that we could go in and sit down, watch some TV, or not even watch TV, just relax for a little bit or whatever, kick back, think about what we had done for the day. And that was going to be our next step in our journey. So here we are, present day. We
partnered up with Winnebago a few years ago. It was 2022. They were coming out with the Hike 113-16 models. At the time, we met with them in Tampa at the RV show. And at the time, they only had 2 models. One of them being the SB, and I believe the other one was the DB, maybe.
Either the DB or the FB. With the bunk.
Yeah, I'm
with
not,
the full bed and the bunk, I believe. It's been a little while.
Yep, that is the one it was. Like I said, we partnered up with them. We decided to go with the SB. The SB basically has the bed in the very top portion of it, and you let the bed down. So then you have about 2 foot of sleeping space for the size of a queen size mattress practically. And we really enjoyed it. It had room for being able to take our bikes on the inside. It has like barn doors on the back to open up. So we were able to take all kinds of stuff with us. And anybody that has one knows, I mean, you can, they don't make them for being specifically I'll say a cargo trailer that would hold bikes and stuff, but we've heard of people doing it.
Well, like motorbikes, like
yeah.
motorcycles or dirt bikes or whatever.
Or the little.
It's really not set up for. I mean, it's considered they'll call it a toy hauler, but it's more so like e-bikes, kayaks, that kind of stuff. However,
Yeah, it wasn't vented for fuel
right,
consuming
right.
vehicles.
So, but you know,
but
most
people have done
it. People have done it. So, but we traveled around in the 1316 SB for 2 years. You know, we just got the word out a lot, and we really enjoyed it. Number one, when we did, you know, meet up with Winnebago at the Super RV show in Tampa, we told them what we were looking for. You know, we wanted to have an indoor restroom, an indoor shower. We wanted still have the option, and luckily with these models, we still do have the option to use an outdoor shower.
The non-camp side
on the
has
non-camp
the outdoor
side,
shower.
so on the other side, so we still had that option. We, you know, really needed something that could haul our gear. We like to have our recovery boards. We like to have a shovel with us, and with these models, they have all of this extra space built in. So, and it's still the size that we want to keep it. We wanted to, gosh, I think this is still. I know I've talked about this before. It's still about the same, or it's a little bit longer than what the Nobo was.
So the Nobo was 10-foot box, and then 3 foot with the tongue, or an extra 3 foot with tongue. So it's 13 feet.
Right.
This one is 13 feet box, 16 feet with the 3 foot tongue.
So we really feel like
we went up 3 feet longer, a little bit wider, of course.
Yes.
And obviously taller, so we can stand up.
So we can stand up. So the first 2 years in the SB, like I said, if any of you, we may have met you on the road or passed you or whatever, because everybody was really intrigued. They were like, wow, you know, what is this? A Winnebago? We've never seen a Winnebago this size. What do you all have going on here? So so we met a lot of people.
It was like every stop for gas, we were talking to people, people showing interest in it, and some we would take on a tour of the inside. Some just didn't have any time to spend looking totally around, or we may have been in a hurry.
Yeah. But so, you know, 2 years we did the 1316 SB, and we've been, we swapped out in August of 2024, and we are now in the 1316 MB, so which is the Murphy bed. And you know, the whole front end part of the camper is the same. So still have, you know, the whole restroom set up, the wet bath.
The wet bath, kitchenette part.
Yep. And
fridge, sink.
Yep. So all of that is pretty much the same. As you see, it's, you know, we've actually, both of these, I'll back up a little bit. Both of these have been the FLX models. So we are able to go and camp off-grid for several days at a time. As long as we've got solar going, we're pretty good about, you know, being able to keep the battery charged and up and running. And we normally do carry a generator with us if we're going off-grid, just for those emergencies. If you've got a cloudy day and those panels just haven't had the sunlight to be able to pull in the power to charge it back up, then
we can crank up the generator and be good to go.
Right. So
or if it's extremely hot and we want to run it at night and we're beach camping, then nobody's around to hear the generator running, so we can run it all night if we want, and run the AC without any issues.
So of course, you know, the Murphy bed has exactly what it is, the Murphy bed. It folds up. You've got, you know, we've got a nice little couch area that we can sit. This model has, we call it our garage space. So it's really fun to kind of switch it up in between the different models of the Hike 100, because it makes us think outside of the box, to find new ways to store things and how to make the inside more usable for space. Because with the MB, we have all this open space up in the ceiling now, because there's not a bed there, because the SB was the bed, and then, you know, the two benches. So we've really been able to put a bunch of modifications in both models. We were able to do some modifications and just really figure out, you know, what works best for us. So so far we are really truly enjoying the Murphy bed model, and it switched up things with the bed in the SB. You are
sleeping east to west.
Yep.
So whoever is, if it's a couple or whatever together, if there's two of you up there, whoever's on the back, if they have to use the bathroom at night, they would have to climb over the other person. So in the MB model, it actually, where it folds down is just a north to south bed.
Which, yes.
Which lets us crawl off the end of it, and either one of us, and don't have to actually crawl over the other person.
Right, right. But we're really, really enjoying the Murphy bed model. So it's great. We've got a couple videos already out kind of showing you how the Murphy bed setup is. And, you know, if you have any questions about either of these models, please comment below and let us know. It's the flex part is the Truma components, the lithium batteries. The Truma components are your hot water heater, your air conditioner, and heat. I had to think of it.
There's an otter out there.
So we're looking. I got distracted because we're looking at this beautiful lake, and there's an otter swimming by. So I saw him earlier come up over here while we were cleaning up after supper and getting ready to come out here and watch the sunset. And now we're just kind of watching him cruise by. So, but we're also just watching because there is another sign over here that says beware of alligators. So we just kind of want to make sure that, you know, there's no alligators cruising by. So, but anyway, we appreciate your time. We're going to enjoy our little campfire here. It's kind of getting dusky dark. Probably can't really see us much in here.
Yeah, that's what the flickering is. We got a fire over here in the
Yeah, we've got a
background.
fire going over here. It's been great here on, you know,
it was warm this morning or throughout the day, but now it's starting to cool down a little bit.
Yep,
so
yep.
we got us a little fire going.
Right, got the fire going. We've had fun on the electric bikes, and we just wanted to give you guys just a rundown on kind of like how we got started with our camping and just kind of how we've grown through our years and how things have kind of switched up for us. And I hope this video's been helpful in any way, shape, or form. And if you would, just give us a like, and we'll talk to you next time.
See you on the road.
Bye.